And on today's Unbiased Short Take, we're going to go through the Packers' day three selections, which would be round 4 through 7. With round 4, the 116th overall selection, our one fourth round pick, we did draft Colby Wooden. And I actually love this pick. He's a really, really physical, stout run defender, and he does have some of his best football, in my opinion, ahead of him. He's great with size. He's looks the part. He has a good length and a good blend of size. He does have good pass rush upside. I think he's more personally to take the eye personally when watching. He's a better run defender. He's physical. He's actually a good anchor of your defense. And especially with Dalvin Cook in the division, I think that's overall a really, really good solid pick, especially for run defense purposes. Kind of fill that hole maybe beside Kenny Clark as a rotational piece maybe. One of the only concerns I have is actually his form. He stands up quite a bit, and that kind of gets him knocked off edge a little bit, makes him lose momentum because he'll stand up with his hand placement, and it's not very good sometimes, even on the collegiate level. So that's something I think coaches can work with you with your technique, however. So I don't really think that is an issue. I think that can be coached. So overall, I think that's a solid pick. With our fifth round selection, this kind of shocked me. We took Sean Clifford from Penn State. Of course, as you know, I predicted us to take a quarterback. I did not think it would be Sean Clifford. I figured it'd be McKee or something along those lines, maybe even AJ Purdue quarterback. I can't think of his name right now. But Sean Clifford, we ended up taking him. He set a lot. He set a lot of Penn State passing records. He is a good run option quarterback. He did struggle a bit in the film I watched in a traditional offense, which is not really something you want to see. But he does mock some things that Jordan Love has. He has a good decision making. They did a lot of run pass option from what I've seen on film. I think that kind of helped his decision making. He didn't really make a lot of mistakes. But I think he definitely needs improvement in the more traditional offense. But he does have athleticism, can get out of the pocket, things that Jordan Love shows. So I think that's really a good pick for a backup quarterback, and would kind of fit the scheme in the event that something happens to Love or that Love ends up sucking. I don't think that will happen. However, it is a possibility. And then with our second fifth round selection, we chose Wicks from Virginia, wide receiver. I was actually really, really happy with that pick. He's a very fast receiver. He'll blow the top off of you when it comes to speed. I think he can really, really be a burner for us. And I think worst case scenario, he can end up actually playing some special teams for us, especially right away even because of his size, athleticism, and toughness that he provides. He's not afraid to get down and dirty with them. However, one of his issues is, from what I've seen on film right now, is drops and ball security. However, you can work with people like that. Remember, Devontae Adams early in his career had the same incident. He had drop issues. People actually wanted us to keep Jeff Janis over Devontae Adams at one point. People remember that. So you can actually work on that, but he does. He has good ball skills. He's tough. He has a good release package. He has a really very, very, very good speed from what I can see on film. So getting Jordan Love some help there, I'm very happy with our ability to do that in this draft overall. And then the sixth round with our first pick, we chose Carl Brooks, defensive line from Bowling Green. And he's a really hard-working player, has the stats to back it up, had a really, really good year. Really good stats, top of the line as far as the country for stats, but you must ask them why did he go to the sixth round. Well, a lot of these picks, as you know, are developmental guys, and Bowling Green is not really a big school, so level of competition sometimes, can he do it at an elite level at the NFL versus Bowling Green's competition, if you see what I'm saying. So we'll see if he can do that. However, he's a high motor player. Throw him in and see if he can do it. And I do overall like that pick. Round 6, as I predicted, we would take a kicker, and we chose Anders Carlson, kicker from Auburn, which is an odd pick. He is very good extra point, only missed a couple extra points in his career. However, he does struggle from over 50 yards. He is 6'5", which is odd. Brother is the kicker also in the NFL, Carlson. But just because your brother can do it doesn't mean you can. He struggles from 50. He's a reliable extra point kicker. Kind of reminds me of Mason Crosby, really. Kind of struggles from 50, really reliable when it comes up shorter kicks. I think maybe with Robert Saleh there, he knows what he's doing, obviously. So I think he's going to be our kicker for the future. We do have another kicker on our roster, maybe a competition there. But with us drafting one in the 6th round, I think he's our kicker moving forward. We're going through a youth movement right now in Green Bay. And then with one of our many 7th round picks, Carrington Valentine from Kentucky. I only got to watch about 30 seconds of tape on him, very fast from what I've seen. A lot of Kentucky fans, what I was saying, said that we got a really, really good player. He could even be a special teams player for years to come, from what I've read on him a little bit. 7th round pick also, running back like always, Central Michigan. We chose Lou Nichols. And really that's just for depth thing for me. We need a 3rd string running back. We really don't have anyone besides A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones, of course. So get him in there from Central Michigan, maybe compete for that 3rd spot. Can never hurt. You can never have too many running backs, especially with a young quarterback in there. And then, my favorite pick. I predicted this one, called this one. Anthony Johnson Jr. in the 7th round. However, I thought he was a 3rd round selection. This is a really bad safety class. Wasn't a safety in the first 2 rounds in this draft. That's horrible. But I thought he was one of the best safeties in the draft. So us to get him at round 7, I am ecstatic. We didn't really move with safety too much. However, we could bring back Adrian Amos still. The GM said they're not closing that door. However, with Darnell Savage and you probably got Rudy Ford back there, you need someone else. And Anthony Johnson Jr., I think, could provide a little bit of depth. I think there'll be a competition in that spot, maybe a weaker spot in our roster. In round 7, also Grant Dupose. He's really, really good route runner, good separating off ball. Does struggle against tighter coverage, had really good stats. I think his best football is ahead of him. I'm really happy with that pick. There's not really a lot of top line speed over the top, which kind of hurt his draft at Charlotte, I think, especially against that level of competition. But his stats were there. He does have good ball hip speed. I think he could end up being at least a serviceable receiver. This draft, I give Green Bay overall an A. I think they nailed this draft. They got 1st round. We always go defense at the prime edge rush position like I predicted. I predicted most of these picks correct, not to toot my own horn, but our philosophy, like I said, we would draft an edge rusher in the 1st round, that we would get Jordan Love help in the early 2nd and 3rd rounds, to tight end, receiver with Musgrove and Reed and Kraft as well, and then we go defense again on defensive line. I did predict that as well with us getting Colby Wooden. We got the quarterback in case Love doesn't work out, like I said, with Clifford, more receivers to assist. However, we drafted more receivers than I thought. Drafted a kicker. Drafted the exact safety I predicted in Anthony Johnson. I did say we drafted some offensive linemen. That didn't happen. Drafted some extra receivers in there. So take that as what you will. But overall, an A draft for Green Bay. And we'll see how it works out. Keep touch for more updates. We're going to post some more undrafted free agents that we signed. I'm going to watch some film on those guys and then stay in the loop for the update. And as always, see you next time on the Unbiased Heart Take.